So here's what I invite you to do. I'm going to lead you through a guided journey to discover your word of the year. When you are done with that, I want you to write about it, journal about it, draw it, create art about it, go on hikes in the woods about it, go to the ocean and draw the word in the sand. I want you to engage spiritually with this word. Welcome to the Intrepid Soul podcast, where we explore what it takes to build a human life that's congruent with your soul. I'm Katie Benway, a mystic, teacher, and author, here to walk with you through the wilds of the human experience as we get to know and get closer to the soul. Let's get curious, courageous, and conscious together. Hi there, and welcome back to the Intrepid Soul podcast. This is our season finale, our wrap up of season 1. I have to tell you, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the Intrepid Soul podcast, for the emails and the feedback, for the messages, everything that you have conveyed to me about your enjoyment and your experiences listening to the podcast. I really wasn't sure what would happen when I created this. I just felt really urged and guided and called to do that. And I love it. I love every second of podcasting, of the conversations that I have with my colleagues and teachers and people that I admire. I love every second of getting this content to you, and I hope that you're getting something out of it. I know you are. I have heard from so many of you, and that, I have to tell you, has been so humbling and almost emotional. Not almost, it has been emotional. I've been blown away by the feedback, by what you tell me about listening to the podcast and what you get out of it, how it inspires you and helps you. And that's it, right? Like, that's the meaning of life, is sharing honestly and authentically and in a raw and open way, in hopes that someone else is inspired or clarified or has their own catharsis and aha moment. So truly, thank you. So we're wrapping up season 1 with this episode, and I am off to spend some time recording episodes for season 2. I hope to have season 2 ready for you in early spring. So stay in touch with me on social media and on my email newsletter. You can visit my website to find all of those links to stay in touch, and I'll let you know when we are back at it. So today, in honor of our final episode for season 1, I wanted to do something special. So our episode last week, as you know, was a best of clip show. And it would have been really easy to end there, right? End of the year, best of. But I didn't want to. I wanted to give you this. So instead of a conversation today, I want to give you an experience. It is the beginning of 2026. Well, I'm recording this at the end of 2025, but when you're listening to this, it'll be the very beginning of 2026. And I want to lead you today through a very gentle but very potent word of the year ceremony. I want to give this to you because I think establishing a word of the year is, powerful and lovely. It's a wonderful gravitational force for you to revisit throughout the year, to engage with, to note and mark your evolution, your healing, your progress against. Revisiting your word of the year throughout the year is, it's just so empowering. It's so insightful and humbling, quite frankly, and I'll explain to you why. So when I've done these ceremonies with groups before, and I have done them myself for a couple of years now, you'll arrive at a word that is given to you or there for you to discover, that is yours to work with, to ponder, to build a relationship with, to uncover the meaning of in deeper, more progressive ways throughout the year. So let me give you an example. Last year in 2025, my word of the year was authorship. Authorship. So as most of you know, I've written a book and I want to write more. I'm in a season of life as a mom. My kids are 11 and 14, and I run a very, very busy business. And I just don't have time. I don't have as much time to write books as I would like to. And as you can imagine, writing a book is not kind of a casual endeavor. It's a deep dive. So I know at some point in my life, I will write more books. I am in most days acceptance of the fact that this season of life makes it really, really, really hard for me to write a book. Nonetheless, I continue to work on book number 2. So last year, when my word of the year was revealed to me, my word was authorship, I got really excited. And I thought, oh, I wonder if this is the year I really make some demonstrable progress on book number 2. I was really excited. And then as the year progressed and I moved into spring and then later spring, with not a lot of movement on my book, not a lot of availability and time to work on it, what started happening was my relationship with that word started changing. And I had originally thought it was about writing a book. And in about March, April, May of 2025, I started getting these hits about this podcast. And at first it started out as me wanting to record conversations that were teaching and healing in nature. And then as I sat with it and asked for guidance about it and received guidance that kind of came out of nowhere, it became really clear that this was a podcast. And so in March, April, and May, I began organizing the Intrepid Soul podcast. And it was really clear to me that this was bigger than me. I was getting a lot of guidance and hits and downloads about it out of nowhere. That's how I really know, by the way, that guidance is something that I can trust, is when it sort of stops me in my tracks. I remember the day that I got clarified about this. It was a Sunday and I was at home and I had just led a workshop online. And I got done and I was in my living room and I remember I was standing up and I literally felt like I was hit by something. And it became really clear that these conversations I wanted to record were in fact the Intrepid Soul podcast. And I grabbed a piece of paper and a pen and I just started writing what was coming through to me. And so it really coalesced that day. And by June, I was recording episodes. And so as I start recording these episodes and soft launching inside my community at the Intrepid Soul Collective on Patreon throughout the summer, I started to realize that the word authorship was far different from what I had thought it meant or represented for me. I thought to myself, maybe authorship isn't always about writing. Maybe it is about words, but maybe it's about speaking those words and talking and having conversation. And I realized that while I long to dive in and write my second book, and that won't ever go away, I accept the season of life I am in and the limitations. But here was this thing, this Intrepid Soul podcast, that absolutely was authorship in a way that I would have never, ever, ever considered it to be. I would have never considered that I was the author of a podcast or an author of these words that are exchanged in conversation, whether that's with a guest on the podcast or with you. I mean, I'm talking to you. And so my relationship with the word authorship started to change. My understanding of that word evolved and grew and shifted. And I became really grateful and thankful for the way that word showed me how I limit myself. When I was presented with that word, authorship, I absolutely only thought of it in terms of writing a book. That was it. But by mid-year, I realized that authorship was about my work in the world, my voice in the world, what I would like to steward, to midwife, to author forward. And it helped me understand myself as an author and be in acceptance of, like I said, the season of life I've been in and will continue to be in, the limitations there. But it showed me how the limitations didn't mean that offering my work to the world was off the table. It showed me how my thinking, which absolutely can be very rigid at times. I am a rigid thinker, believe it or not. When it comes to myself, I should say, I can be really rigid in my thinking. And so thinking, oh, I want to write this book. Oh, I desperately want to write this book. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, my season of life. Okay, I accept it. And then setting it down. Well, there's a different way. Yes, I can accept all of that. And there's a different way. And it turns out that talking into a microphone right now in my season of life is far more efficient than sitting down and writing a book. I also really like it because it's an imperfect medium. And as a recovering perfectionist and people pleaser, and I don't know, anxiety prone and nervousness prone, I really like podcasting. It's an imperfect medium that allows me to let myself mess up and do better next time. Not every episode is perfect or a 10. I listen to some things I do and I do them differently 2 months later. I've deleted entire episodes and re-record them. I listen to mistakes and it's okay. It's just okay. And so my willingness to engage with authorship, with words and teaching and my passion, and yes, the spirit world, it's produced something that never ever would I have come up with before. And it's changed who I am, and it's absolutely helped heal me, and I'm a better person for it. But I love the word of the year. This is why. Because I guarantee you're going to receive your word, you're going to discover your word, and you're going to have a lot of thoughts and ideas and inspiration about what it means right now. And write that down, journal, draw, write down, voice note, all the things. And then be really open to the way that word teaches you this year and leads you through evolution, shifting, self-discovery, and growth. I love the way words can mean different things, that words have these amazing and delightful double entendres. And so let your word do that. Let your word surprise you and become what it wants to become. Let it inspire you and change you. Words have power. Our voices have power. Words, when spoken, when brought into vibration, they have power. They help co-create our life. And when you speak your word, create art about your word, draw, journal, write, embody, engage with, talk to your word, you're giving it co-creation power. When I engaged with authorship and let it take me on a ride, the Intrepid Soul podcast was created. The Less Than Perfect Katie was created. My engagement with an imperfect medium where I learned to appreciate and love and celebrate myself in a whole new way, that got created. Part of the reason I'm calling a wrap on season 1 is I know I need to integrate everything and embody and process. Like, a lot has shifted in me. And I'm really excited about season 2 because I think it'll be even better because I'm growing and changing and I'm more confident and I'm more clear.
And I really like the idea of a stop and then a restart, sort of like an ending of number 1 and a beginning of number 2. I don't know what my word of the year for 2026 is. I'm going to discover it along with you, but let's keep talking about it, okay? So here's what I invite you to do. I'm going to lead you through a guided journey to discover your word of the year. When you are done with that, I want you to write about it, journal about it, draw it, create art about it, go on hikes in the woods about it. Go to the ocean and draw the word in the sand. I want you to engage spiritually with this word. And then I want you to meet me at the Intrepid Soul Collective. That's over on Patreon. You're going to join. It's a small fee a month. And you're going to drop me a note about your word of the year. We're going to leave our words of the year in a chat thread in Patreon. And throughout the year in that venue, we are going to come together and revisit what has changed about our words of the year. How have they inspired us? How have they led us on self-discovery journeys? Let's dive in and do this together. This is our spiritual work. This is the work of getting conscious, of getting to know yourself, of communing with the unseen world. Okay? I want you to do this with me this year. I want you to join the Intrepid Soul Collective over on Patreon, and I want you to do this. I want you to let yourself be changed. I want you to receive inspiration and conversation, and I want you to revisit this with me throughout the year in a ceremonial, devotional way, because this is how you change and you grow your life with beautiful and profound and sacred intention. Okay? All right. Let's get started with our guided journey. Please find a comfortable place where you can close your eyes and be comfortable and supported as we go on this journey. So as you settle in for our word of the year journey, feel free to grab a rock or a crystal or some other sacred object that you feel guided to hold on to. And the word of the year that chooses you will be imbued in this object, in this rock or crystal or whatever item you're holding. It's a lovely way to make physical this sacred process. And so just settle in and get comfortable. Close your eyes and just breathe. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you do that, give yourself permission to disconnect from your head. Give yourself permission to disconnect from your thoughts, your worries, your to-do list, any anxieties or fears. And as you're breathing, notice that you start to breathe in beautiful green light. Notice that this light sparkles and glows. It's warm and nourishing. This light feels steady. And as this light enters your lungs when you breathe, notice that it feels like gravity, centering you, grounding you, rooting you. Take a breath and notice this beautiful green light pooling in your lungs. And notice that as you keep breathing, the light fills your lungs and then it spills over. And it begins to permeate and fill your entire body. Feel that light filling your chest, your heart, your throat. Feel that light filling your stomach, your rib cage, extending down to your pelvis, your hips. Take a deep breath and notice that light filling your legs, running down to your knees, to your ankles, to your feet and your toes. Take another breath and notice that light extending down your shoulders to your arms, filling your elbows, down to your hands and your fingers. Take another deep breath and feel that light filling your throat, your voice, your vocal cords. Feel it extending up into your chin and your lips, your mouth, and up through your face. Green light moving up through your cheeks, your nose, your ears, your eyes, your forehead, and filling the top of your head. And take a deep breath and just feel the support, nourishment, the guidance, and wisdom of this light. And notice that slowly you begin to float or fly. Maybe if you're flying, you're on the back of a large bird or other creature or animal. Maybe you're simply floating through the sky, the stars even, on air or on a bubble. Or maybe there's some kind of magical force you're aware of. Allow yourself to be transported. And as you're moving or flying or riding, being transported, feel the magic of this, the otherworldliness, and yet the grounding, the wisdom, the conviction. You are on a journey to discover your word of the year. Your word of the year for 2026. You are a soul in a human body. And you know that words are powerful, that words are an expression of the soul, of divine, of the other side, of the unseen world. And you also know that when you speak words, when you bring them forth and make them physical, you're being a wise human. That words unite your soul and your humanity. That the vibration of your voice is creation itself. And those creative forces that flow from your voice, your hands, your intentions, they change you. They make you become who you are meant to be. You are a soul in a human body, and you are curious about your word of the year for 2026. And so let yourself be transported to the place where you will receive your word of the year. You'll arrive in a place and maybe you recognize it. Maybe it's familiar, or maybe it's wholly unfamiliar. Land in the place where you'll receive your word of the year. Maybe it's a jungle or a desert. Maybe it's in the stars on another planet. Maybe it's floating down a river, or it's at the ocean, on a cloud, Maybe it's under an old oak tree. You stay open and present. Trust everything you get. Allow. Don't fight. Allow. Where do you go? You may see it or you may sense it. Breathe out any doubts and just allow. Find yourself arriving at the place where you'll receive your word of the year. And just notice, feel, sense what's here. What's the climate? Is it light or dark? Is it day or night? What are you wearing? What's underneath your feet? Is there ceremony here? Music or drumming? Are there animals here? Are there guides? Angels, loved ones, spirit guides here? Just notice, sense, see, trust. And you'll notice that here in this place, a guide does step forward. It might be a loved one, an animal, a spirit guide you don't recognize. Just trust. And notice that this guide hands you some kind of package or parcel. Maybe it's wrapped in cloth. Maybe it's a box you're meant to open. Maybe there's wrapping. Just receive this package. And open this package the way you're meant to. Maybe you kneel or sit. Maybe you excitedly tear into it, or maybe you sit by a fire and delicately and gently open what you've received. Take a deep breath and just be with this package. Take your time and open or unwrap this package and discover what's inside. Discover what your word of the year for 2026 is. And just trust what you feel, see, sense, or hear. If there's more than a word, if there's a few or a phrase, just take a deep breath and ask, what word are you meant to receive? What word best embodies the message and the guidance you're receiving? And as you receive this, and it's okay if it's a phrase or if you aren't entirely sure just yet, just allow yourself to be with it. What is your word of the year for 2026? And now just receive that word. Receive it in your heart, in your voice, in your third eye, in your mind, in your ears, in your hands, in your root, in your feet. Notice any initial feelings you have about this word: curiosity, wonder, recognition. But most of all, allow yourself to accept and commit and surrender to the journey this word will take you on this year. The journey you're meant to experience as you get to know this word, its various meanings and definitions, as you change and grow and evolve and understand the way this word is showing you a part of you. That's all to come. You don't have to do that now. You are simply here to say, yes, I'm in. Let's go on this journey. And so just take another deep breath. Thank this guide who joined you. Thank this space that you're in. And feel this force, whether it's an animal or a magical force, this force that transported you to this place. Feel this force pick you up and carry you and your word of the year back to your body, back to where you are in this room, where you're sitting or laying. Allow this force to bring you back into your body. And as you come back into your body, start to move a little bit. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Move your head and your neck. And feel the word of the year settle into your body. You're aware of it in your mind. You feel it in your throat and in your voice. How does it feel in your hands? How does it feel in your heart? How does it feel in your stomach, in the center of you, in your legs, in your feet? Just feel into this word. And move around the way this word wants you to move. Sway or swing your arms or legs or roll around. Stretch. Allow this word to be at home in you and with you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you for doing that with me. So I invite you to be with this word. Please write it down. Create art or doodle, draw, paint, journal. Write it in the sand. Write it in chalk in your driveway. Play with this word. Say this word. Look up definitions of this word. Draw and write. Put it up so you can see it. Just feel into the word. And notice any feelings that come up, any judgments, nervousness, excitement, curiosity, wonder. You can write about that too. And just let it flow. Right now, we're just letting it flow. We're letting this word settle in and begin its journey of teaching us. And lastly, go over to the Intrepid Soul Collective on Patreon. Just download the app, find the Intrepid Soul Collective, join me, and you'll find there a post where I ask and invite you to share your word of the year. I'll share mine there too. And we're going to just keep tabs on it throughout the year. I will host little events, little meetings, if you will, at the collective where we do guided meditation and we do journey and we get to know and understand our word of the year and what it's teaching us. So we will stay with this. It's a process. This is ceremony. This is devotion. This is spiritual practice. And it'll change you. And I know that because it's changed me. All right, my friends, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being with me on the Word of the Year journey. And thanks for being with me in the wrap-up of Season 1 of the Intrepid Soul podcast. I will see you in early spring for Season 2. And in the meantime, be with me over on Patreon at the Intrepid Soul Collective. We'll be doing work and guided meditation and ceremony and live calls and voice notes from me, all kinds of stuff. It's a great way to stay connected with me while the podcast is on a little hiatus. All right. I love you. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for joining me here on the Intrepid Soul podcast. If you'd like to continue the conversation and the work of your soul, join me over on Patreon at the Intrepid Soul Collective. There you'll find tons of resources and support connected to the conversations we have here to help you make your soul work practical and embodied. There are live sessions with me, bonus Q&As where you can go deeper with me and my guests, companion guided meditations and ceremonies, and so much more. Because we can't just talk about it, we've got to become it. Check out the show notes for details and links, and hit follow on this podcast. It'll keep new episodes at the top of your feed, and it helps me build the Intrepid Soul community. Until next time, take good care of yourself and your soul.